Hey guys, welcome back. We've been doing one-step equations for a really long time. It's time to upgrade to two-step equations. So go ahead and write down today's objective. I can solve two-step equations. Now, before we actually start solving two-step equations, I have a little scenario for you. You're in a room with your best friend and a stranger. Okay? You can kind of think of your best friend as being close to you, and the stranger, you don't really know him. He's kind of far away from you. You don't have a relationship with him. Okay? Now you're the leader of the room. So you have the option of kicking someone out. All right? So are you going to kick out the stranger, or are you going to kick out your best friend, the person who's close to you? Okay? Go ahead and answer that question. All right, so hopefully everybody picked that they would get rid of the stranger first because the stranger is far away, and you keep your best friend who's close to you. All right, so let's go and write down number one. Why did I come up with this scenario? Well, let's take a look at number one. We have 6x minus 7 equals 41. Now, right here, let's think of what's on this side of the equal sign being that room I was talking to you about. Now 41 is not in the room, so 41 is not even part of the scenario. The people that are part of the scenario are the 6 and the 7. 6 is close to you, so think of 6 as your best friend. 7 is far away from you, so think of 7 as a stranger. Now if you answered get rid of the stranger first, which was the correct answer, the stranger would be 7 because he's far. The distance between x and 7 is far away. The distance between 6 and x is close. So get rid of who's furthest away from you first. Right? So what I need to do is to get rid of a minus 7 is I'm going to add 7 to both sides. So what happens here is the 7s will cancel out, and then you'll be left with 6x on the left side, and on the right side you're going to have 48. Okay? You just got rid of the stranger, now it's just you and your best friend. Okay? But now you want some alone time, so you want to get rid of your best friend. How do we get rid of the 6? Because right now it's being multiplied. The way you get rid of it is you divide. Okay, so you're going to divide the 6 on both sides. All right, you're left with x over here. On the other side, 48 divided by 6 is 8. Okay, you are by yourself. X equals, so it's isolated. Therefore, you're done and you found the answer. Now let's go ahead and check our answer. All right, like before, anytime you want to check your answer, instead of x, you want to put parentheses. So over here we have 6x minus 7 equals 41. You're going to write 6 parentheses minus 7 equals 41. Okay, now what do we want to put in this parentheses? We want to put x. What is x? X is 8. So let's put 8 in there. All right, 6 times 8, that winds up getting you 48. Bring down the minus 7 equals 41. 48 minus 7 gets you 41. 41 equals 41. You just checked it. There's my little check mark to show that I checked it and I got a true statement. 41 equals 41. So the answer is 8. Okay? Let's do another one together. For this next one, we have negative 5 equals negative 6y plus 4. Now again, over here, these guys are in the same room. So negative 6 is your best friend. Negative 6 is close to you. The 4 is far away. That's the stranger. So let's get rid of the stranger first. Okay? So how do we get rid of a plus 4? We're going to have to subtract 4 from both sides. So over here we have negative 4, negative 5. Put that together, you get negative 9. All right? And then this negative 6y is going to come down. This over here cancels, so it's not there anymore. So now you have another problem where it's dividing, because again, we have negative 6, your best friend is being multiplied with you. You got to divide by negative 6. So divide by negative 6 on both sides. Over here, we get negative 6 divided by negative 6. That's just 1, so they cancel. Over here, you plug this in your calculator, negative 9 divided by negative 6. You will wind up getting 1.5. So 1.5 equals y. All right? Let's go ahead and check this one. So when we check it, again, we're going to write the original up here, but instead of y, this time we're going to put parentheses. So negative 5 equals negative 6 parentheses plus 4. Y is 1.5, so let's put 1.5 in there. All right, over here we have negative 6 times 1.5. That gets me a negative 9. Everything else comes down, and then over here we got to solve that. Negative 9 plus 4, that's going to get me a negative 5. So negative 5 equals negative 5. There's your check. That means it's correct. The answer is 1.5. Now, again, these right here, two-step equations. I want you to try the next one on your own. If you need to press pause right now, go for it so that you can write this down. All right. And then here is number 3. I want you to try number 3 on your own. We have 7y plus 3 equals 38. So solve for y, get it by itself, and check it. All right, guys, now let's take a look at number 4. Number 4, we have a over 3 minus 6 equals 3. So the thing that's different, instead of it being multiplying like we have over here in number 7, we have a little division here. We have a little fraction, okay? Now, comparing a to 3 and comparing a to 6, who is furthest away from it? This 6 is furthest away. So we got to get rid of the 6 first. How do we get rid of a minus 6? Well, we're going to have to add 6 to both sides. This cancel these 6's over here. So that fraction is going to come down. We're going to have a over 3 come down. And then 3 plus 6 gets you the 9. All right. Now we have a over 3. How do we get rid of dividing by 3? We multiply by 3. Okay, so we're going to multiply by 3 on both sides. You can see that the 3's cancel out. You're left with a equals 27. All right, so now let's go ahead and check our answer. We're going to write the original problem. So up here you see that the a is on top of this fraction. So when I rewrite this, I'm going to put parentheses on top of the fraction. So we have parentheses over 3 minus 6 equals 3. Let's go and put the 27 in there. What's 27 over 3? Well, that's 9. 9 minus 6 is going to get me 3. 3 equals 3. So there's my check. Number 4 is correct. Okay? We're going to do another one like these together. If you need to press pause to write this down, go for it. And number 5, we have b over 7 equals 5. I'm sorry, b over 7 plus 5 equals 7. Okay? So again, we have the 7 is close, the 5 is far away. So let's get rid of this 5. How are we going to get rid of the 5? We need to subtract 5 from both sides so that the 5's cancel. And then we're going to have that fraction come down. So b over 7 equals 2. We got rid of the number that's furthest away. Now let's get rid of the number that's close, which is that 7. The opposite of dividing by 7 is multiplying by 7. That cancels these out. b equals 14. All right, so now let's go ahead and check to make sure that b is 14. We're going to rewrite the equation. All right, but instead of b, we're going to put parentheses right there. Okay, and what are we going to put in there? Well, we're going to put what b was, which is the 14. So there's my 14. We're going to go ahead and simplify this fraction. 14 divided by 7, that gets me 2. So there's the 2 right there. 2 plus 5, what does that get you? That gets you 7. 7 equals 7. There's my check. Okay? All right, so we did a couple of problems like these with the fraction in it. Here's one for you to try on your own. We have d over 5 minus 4 equals 2. Go ahead and solve this problem and check it. All right, number 7. Okay, now this one is a little bit more different because instead of having that fraction and then adding or subtracting something, we have a fraction where we have 2 terms on the top over here, the r and the r plus 9. Okay. Now, I still kind of use the scenario, try to get rid of who's furthest away. Now, think of this. Now, if you look, r is pretty close to 4, r is pretty close to 9. You really can't tell the difference on who's furthest away. But if you were in a building, say that 9 and r are on the second floor, 4 is on the first floor. Who would be closer to r? The person who's on the same floor or the person who's on the other floor? Okay, so the person who's on the same floor is closer. So we got to get rid of who's furthest away. Who is furthest away? The 4. So right now this numerator is being divided by 4. Opposite of dividing by 4 is multiplying by 4. So we're going to multiply by 4 on both sides. The 4's cancel. So you're left with what's on top of this fraction over here, which is r plus 9. So r plus 9 equals 40. How do we get rid of a plus 9? We subtract 9. So we're getting rid of who's furthest away now by subtracting 9. That cancels. R equals 31. Okay, now let's go ahead and check this. We're going to put 31 on the top of the fraction next to that 9. 31 plus 9, that's going to get me a 40. 40 over 4 simplifies to 10. 10 equals 10. There's my check. Okay, number 8, it's going to be kind of the same setup. All right, we have a negative this time, which is not, it's not that much different. Okay, so again, this up here, these two terms, the numerator is being divided by 4. Opposite of dividing by 4 is multiplying by 4. So let's go ahead and do that. So there's my multiplying by 4. 4's cancel. So we have t minus 5 equals 24. Now let's get rid of that 5 by doing the opposite. The opposite of subtracting 5 is adding 5. The 5's cancel. T comes down, and then we have 24 and 5. That gets you 29. Okay, let's go ahead and check. All right, we're going to take 29 and we're going to plug it in for t right here. Okay, so here's my 29. What's 29 minus 5? That's 24. 24 over 4, that equals 6. Okay, 6 equals 6. There's my check. Okay, so for number 9, it's very similar to these. It's going to look just like this fraction over here. All right, so if you need to press pause to write this down, go for it. Otherwise, go ahead and do number 9 right now. There you go. Okay, so here's number 10. Now number 10 looks a little different. Okay, we got two variables in there. They're the same variable, and they're what we call like terms. So since we have x and x here, what you can do is you can add those together because, again, they are like terms. What is 7x minus 3x? That's going to get you a 4x. Okay? Everything else is going to come down just the way it is. Now it turns into a two-step equation. So just like number 1 and 2 and 3. Okay? We have to get rid of who's furthest away. The number furthest away from the 4 is this 8. So how do we get rid of a minus 8? We add 8 to both sides. 8's cancel. We get 4x equals 30. Okay, let's go ahead and solve for x by dividing by 4 on both sides. All right, dividing by 4 gets me x equals 7.5. So let's go ahead and check this. So we're going to take, now you have two x's here, so therefore you're going to have two parentheses. So 7 parentheses minus 3 parentheses minus 8 equals 22. Let's go ahead and put our 7.5 in both of them. Okay, now 7 times 7.5, if you want to use your calculator for that, you wind up getting 52.5. Negative 3 times 7.5, that winds up getting you a negative 22.5. Bring down the minus 8 equals 22, okay, because you didn't do anything to that yet. Now just add all these together in your calculator. 52.5 minus 22.5, that gets you 30. 30 minus 8, that gets you a 22. 22 equals 22. There's your check. Okay? Here's our last problem that we're going to do together. Actually, if you still need this, you can press pause right now. All right, I'm going to go to the next problem. Now, for the next problem, number 11, we have parentheses here. Okay? Because we have parentheses, the first thing you're going to have to do is you're going to have to distribute this negative 3 right here. When you distribute the negative 3, you're going to multiply it with x, and then you're also going to multiply it with negative 2. Okay? So the 4x is going to come down. All right, negative 3 times x, that gets you negative 3x. Negative 3 times negative 2, negative times negative is a positive, so you got to be careful with these. So it's positive 6. We're going to bring down the equals 21. And now we're going to go ahead and combine like terms. So now this kind of looks like number 10, where we put these together. 4x minus 3x, that gets you x. So x plus 6 equals 21. How do I get rid of that 6? We're going to subtract 6 from both sides. That cancels that one out. You get x equals 15. All right, so quickly I'm going to check this. So I'm going to plug it in. Again, there's two x's there, so I'm going to put in both of them. So it goes there, and it goes right there. Okay, 4 times 15, that gets you 60. If you do what's inside the parentheses first, that's going to get you 13. So then we get negative 3 times 13 equals 21. And then we're going to go ahead and multiply negative 3 and 13. That gets you a negative 39. Negative 39 and 60 together get you 21. 21 equals 21. There is the check. Okay, now this last one is on you guys. So go ahead and do that for me. See you tomorrow.